everybody. Say hello to the wonderful folks and tell us, what are we doing again today? I forget these things.
We are interviewing.
What is this again? Is this Bandwidth and Banter, right?
I believe this is Bandwidth and Banter. I'm pretty sure.
I know, right? It's just, this is the highlight of our week. One of them anyway. We have many of them, right?
Yes.
From D&D to this Bandwidth and Banter, all the great streams that we have on Fridays and
all of them.
It's fantastic. Just like today, we have a very special guest, a really dear old friend of mine and of the channels. I've known Loomis a long time. Oh, I spoiled it. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So, Druid, tell us, you're streaming today, right? What you playing tonight?
I'm continuing on with Hell's Blade: Senua's Sacrifice. Hopefully. Hopefully.
You mean you'll play 5 minutes of Senua's Sacrifice while everyone distracts you repeatedly until you go crazy.
Correct.
Okay.
You mean Druid derailed chaos? Like chaos, right?
Yes, you guys get to have your weekly dose of chaos in her stream.
we had a weekly dose of chaos yesterday, but in a Tom stream. It was so nice to be on like the giving end of chaos, not the receiving end. So that was great.
Yes,
love that.
By the way, thank you for the raid, Banana Tom. We love you and adore you. It was fun hanging out with you today, watching your stream as usual. And we're glad we could give you that boost. You earned it. You deserved it. You're amazing. And what is Star Kitty saying about bed and breakfast? What did I miss?
No, B&B, bed and breakfast.
Oh. She's messing with people.
For some reason, Cloudbot decides that he doesn't want to work today. So
I try deactivating it and reactivating it right before stream, like literally 1 minute before. Apparently, it didn't take. So I appreciate you guys' patience with it.
You want to try one more time to see?
I mean, sure, we can. It's not like it's a big deal. Is it this? We had dashboard.
Yeah, because we still need to be able to shout out like Loomis.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's a good point. Of course, we can manually put the link to him.
That's true.
Speaking of him, all right, back to the amazing introduction to the amazing person that we have today. So guys, we're super stoked to have just the sweetest, most amazing person. He's a family man. He's got 2 wonderful daughters and a non-human son. We'll understand more about that later, I think. And he's like, I think he has one of the most amazing, wonderful, kind of vibrant streams on Twitch because of all the things that you can see and do on his stream. And we're super happy to introduce today for Bandwidth and Banter, Loomis360. What's up, everybody? Say hello to Loomis for us, guys.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
It's my first time doing one of these. I'm very, very nervous and very stoked. So thank you. It's starting out great because Star Kitty already stole my bed and breakfast joke. I can't even use that now.
That's totally her, yes.
I was choosing between bed and breakfast and bread and butter. I didn't know which one to choose.
Oh, bread and butter.
Oh, that's a good one. Bread and butter, yeah.
Yeah?
Because talking to people is our bread and butter.
See? Look at that. Writes
there
itself.
We go.
Writes itself.
There we go.
And also, you said you're playing. I just finished Senua's Sacrifice on my stream on Sunday.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yes.
There's a thing about that game that I'm not going to tell you. It's not something you can discover, really, but I'll tell you when you're done kind of what they did in design-wise with that game that you don't know about.
I think she did finish it.
I have actually. This is my second playthrough.
Yeah.
And I have to watch some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. I love the game so much.
Yes.
It's kind of a mix between Scorn and A Plague's Tale and What's that horror point and click game that my daughters made me play? There's another game. I can't remember the name of it now. It figures.
It's all right.
Okay.
It's great.
Okay.
But no,
Yes.
the thing I was going to say then, so I can tell you now, is that you know how it says at the beginning, when you die, you get this rot up your arm, and when it reaches your head, you have to start the game over. That's all a lie.
Yep.
It's all.
It's a
to make
psychological.
it's a psychological thing to get you. Oh my god, because I kept dying. Like this rot doesn't seem to be getting up any higher. What's going on?
Yep.
Maybe I won't have to restart this game. Like if I get to the end of this game and I have to restart, I'm gonna be so mad.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's amazing.
This all over again.
Oh.
Yep. No, my first playthrough, same thing. And I'm like, guys, you know how long it's gonna take me to beat this game?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you how long it's gonna take you to beat it the second playthrough. It'll probably be like 2045 before you finish it because
I know.
we'll be distracting you so much. so
good game.
Loomis, please reintroduce yourself and tell us something about your stream that stands out most to you.
Let's see. I am Loomis360 on Twitch. I got that name Loomis360 because when I first got an Xbox 360, it made me create a username, and I'm like, I don't know what to call it, Loomis360. So I used that, and then I just kept it going. So that's the whole story of why I'm Loomis360, because that was my Xbox 360 username back in the day.
Love that.
I know it's the most unoriginal thing I could think of, and I'm stuck with it now. So,
Hey, but it works. It works.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Yeah, I drew it IRL. I'm stuck with that.
Yeah.
I made it as a joke.
A joke is much better than just, let's put 360 at the end because it's the Xbox 360. But that's what I did. And then when I started Twitch, I'm like, I know a name for Twitch. I don't know. What's I want to call this channel? I have no idea. Well, I'll just go with that Loomis360 since I already have it. And I said, I can make a logo for that pretty good, right? So, circle with an arrow and my logo, and it just kind of came together, and that's why. And I needed something quick, and I didn't, want to waste it, waste time. So I just went with it, and now you can't change it. You know what I mean?
It's a brand name now.
Yeah, exactly.
Indeed, exactly.
I do like my. If I show you my work, it's not working.
So,
yeah, like my logo right there, right? See, there's my spinny logo that I created, and I made that. Cool. I had to learn how to make that thing spin around in 3D. I didn't know how to do that, so I just things on YouTube. You can learn how to do anything. Well, not learn. You can do anything, but not really know how you did it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
I understand that so deeply.
Yep.
I always say I know just enough to be dangerous because I can get it to work, but if it doesn't work, I have no idea what I did wrong.
No way to fix it.
No.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to just kick this off by asking you the most important question of the
interview.
I need you to please share a boring fact about yourself.
A boring fact about myself. There's so many to choose from. I don't know. That's a good one. I mean, I know. Because they're so boring, they just become normal. And then you don't think of them as being boring. So it's hard to pick something out that's boring. But I don't know. I'm pretty introverted, really, which is, I think a lot of Twitch streamers are, which is kind of ironic.
I agree.
I don't know. I'll come back to that one. If I come up with something, I'll tell you.
Okay.
I know there's something. There's probably more than one is the thing, which is why I can't think of anything.
So the next question is mine, and I think you kind of already answered it at the beginning, but maybe you can elaborate on it, so I'll re-ask it. How did you pick your Twitch name, and what was the inspiration?
Yeah, that was it. The Loomis360, Xbox 360.
Gotcha. Okay.
That was it.
All right. So elaborate on why Loomis.
Well, that's my name.
Okay. All right.
So I didn't know what I didn't know much about Twitch when I started streaming.
Right.
And I didn't really I still, even now, I keep thinking, well, what else would I have called the channel? I still haven't come up with anything that I really like.
Device disconnected.
Sorry.
Connected.
I'm sorry.
That was not me, I know. That was not me.
AI is coming to interrupt us.
I'm so sorry.
Is that AI really?
No.
No, it's my.
Oh,
Sorry.
That was the Bluetooth speaker lava lamp.
oh, it was really okay.
It just decided to start talking. I am so sorry. Carry on.
God, what was I saying now? That's how this is how my streams are too. I lose train of thought so quick because I'm getting old. That's the other thing. It's like you know, Twitch seems like a young man's game, but I'm not. I'm in it anyway. You know, because I'm young at heart.
Right.
The more stupid and useless it is, the more I really want to do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Not that Twitch is stupid and useless, but like the stuff I do on my channel is pretty stupid and useless, and I like that. I like stupid and useless, like like just put stupid stupid things like that on my stream all the time, or getting slapped, just dumb stuff.
Spoiler alert,
dumber the
guys.
better.
These are some of the questions we're going to ask later in the interview related to. That's one of my things that makes Loomis one of my favorite streamers. So
because that makes it fun, and I don't want to be, I don't want to be serious when I'm doing this. It's like if people try to throw politics, I'm like, no, I'm not talking about this. There's no point. Nothing good is ever going to come from this conversation.
Right.
Nope.
Which is one of the reasons why we wanted to have you on the show, because you have the same kind of vibe we do in that regard. So.
Because we will talk about sports a lot. I do have a sports thing. Like a lot of the people who follow me could care less, but then there's a few that do. And last night I streamed. We were just watching the NFL draft because it was day one of the draft. And it was just a chatting stream. Usually I play games, but occasionally I'll throw in the Bengals stuff. And then I've got my war paint. Got my Bengals paint. So, and I do that if a game's on, when I'm streaming, I'll also make that a just chatting stream.
I'm blown away.
I don't want to play games when the Bengals are on. I want to watch the game, so let's watch it together because no one in my family likes sports, and if I can find some people to watch the game with me, then that makes me happy.
Right on, dude.
That
yesterday,
is the coolest.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Drew. Go ahead.
No, I just was saying that's the coolest. That's the fun.
It is freaking cool. I didn't realize. I've popped into his channel during his football things from time to time on more than one occasion. Not necessarily football, sometimes sports, whatever. And he's had that on. I thought he had actual paint on. I didn't realize that was a filter. Wow.
Some of them are pretty good. Some of them are really good.
Wow. I'm impressed.
It's a shame because that's Snapcam, and Snapcam recently took it all away. The desktop stuff. It's all app now. But there is a way to still make it work. Someone kind of pirated the whole thing on their end, so it still lives, so you can still use them. But it's not really Snapchat sanctioned anymore. But those are the things you got to do sometimes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Because I put a lot of work into that, and I don't want to take it away.
Hell yeah, I agree.
A lot of the crappy stuff on my stream, a lot of my channel points rely on those things. You can't just take them away from me. What are you doing? So, Snapchat.
I love that. Damn you, Snapchat. All right.
Yeah.
Question. What D&D class do you consider yourself to be IRL?
IRL, more of a because normally when I play Dungeons and Dragons, I usually try to play a more tanky fighter. But the more dice I can roll.
So imagine in this world, in our
real life.
Yeah. Imagine in this world, magic is more like tech.
Okay. I'd probably be more. Well, I don't know if I call it a wizard, because like I said, I don't really know half of what I'm doing. It just kind of works sometimes. So, is there like a wizard, like a crappy wizard?
Crappy wizard.
Like a wizard apprentice, maybe. I could do that.
Oh, artificer, that's another good. That's
Oh,
another
there
one.
you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Like I can do
together.
things, but I don't know why I can do things.
I'd still say that fits. That really suits. Yep, for sure.
Because I don't like playing wizards when I play Dungeons and Dragons. That's not my character. But I think with all I do like tech, and I do like trying to incorporate tech. Like I just put ChatGPT into my stream last night for the first time.
Whoa!
You can just ask it stupid questions, and it'll hopefully answer. So I was working on that for a while, and I finally got it working.
Mm-hmm.
But
that sounds so cool.
It does.
I'm not exactly sure how, or like I know it works, but I don't know if it broke. I don't know if I could fix it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. It took me forever just to get it to work this for one time. So
Yeah. Oh,
but
that's so cool.
I so much wanted to get something like that to work, but I want to know how it works. So I actually am trying now to learn how to code.
Mm.
I'm trying to teach myself how to code, and I'm just starting, so I absolutely know nothing still. Like, I couldn't just sit down and code something at all. I'm really at the beginning, but I want to keep going. And the whole reason why is so I could do stupid things like that.
Well, I'm just
That's what it takes to motivate me.
I'm just gonna say I feel like we need to introduce you to Insomnia Night. Insomnia Night knows a thing or two.
Yeah, that's true.
Really?
That's true.
Insomnia Night, meet Loomis. Loomis, meet Insomnia Night.
I just picked Python. I don't really have I heard it was the easiest. I think that might be why. And if I can start easy and then work my way harder, maybe, I don't know. But it still all doesn't make sense in my head. I've never been a math person either, which I don't know if that's as big a deal nowadays with coding as it used to be. But
So next question for you, Loomis man.
I cannot math at all.
What drew you to Twitch?
Okay, so I didn't really know anything about Twitch. And then like I play hockey. I'm not any good at hockey, but I play hockey. I'm a big hockey fan, so I decided I wanted to start playing. I found a beginners league, right? And we had a goalie, this girl, and she was on Twitch. I think she's Simply Lindsay is her name on Twitch. Simply, she does a lot of Conan, that new Conan game, whatever it is. And she did Twitch, and I'm like, well, that seems kind of cool, And I like my whole career. I've been in television production. I've been a photographer for local news stations in Toledo, Ohio, and now down here in Cincinnati, Ohio. I did that for decades. And then I worked at NBC National as like doing audio. So I have like some equipment around the house, right? Not a lot, but I have some. And I'm like, well, I can just hook this stuff up and see what happens. And that was part of why I did. Because I have stuff to do it. Why don't I try? And my daughters, this was then they were still in high school, and they were really big into Genshin Impact, the game Genshin Impact, and so they wanted me to play Genshin Impact, and I'm like, I'm not a big anime fan, really. I was a little too old for when it started getting big around here, so I kind of missed it. So I'm not a huge anime fan. It looked very anime-ish. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, I tell you what, if I will play it with you if we stream it, and we can stream it on Twitch. We'll start a channel and we'll stream it. And we can talk to people while we're playing Genshin Impact, and that's how it started. So it was me and my oldest daughter playing Genshin Impact on Twitch. And that was like the first good 6 months of my channel was nothing but Genshin Impact. And then I have two daughters, and then they conspired together and left me and started their own channel. So then I'm like, okay, now I can play something besides Genshin Impact, which got me into, well, let's see, I was always a huge Elder Scrolls fan growing up. Let's start with Arena. And I played Arena for like the opening dungeon, went, this game doesn't hold up as great. Let's go with the Daggerfall, because I know I had that too. I have the box downstairs. I still have the Daggerfall box downstairs, the really big, fancy, holographic looking one. And so I started doing that, and that's how I got connected with Stormy. The Daggerfall connection. As I'm sure most people are connected with Stormy. Through Daggerfall. Has brought everybody together. How about that?
That's amazing.
Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls.
Yep.
Power of Elder Scrolls.
That's it. And Daggerfall, more specifically, it seems like. Like, that seems like everybody... just about everybody I know on Twitch really started through Daggerfall somehow. It's the weirdest thing.
I started
Which is great. Daggerfall's great, What was that? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. No. I actually met Stormy through Skyrim. Like,
oh yeah,
him playing Skyrim, and then I would watch his Daggerfall stuff, and then now here we are. Um,
Stormy is the Daggerfall master. I think we all can agree.
oh yeah.
Thank you.
He is the master
Oh, yeah.
of Daggerfall.
I think one of my IRL friends now is like, I kind of want to play Daggerfall
Yeah, he should.
because of Stormy.
Well, when I saw that they had that, the Daggerfall, what is it? The
Unity?
newer version. Unity, yeah. You Daggerfall Unity. I'm like, oh, well, I got to try this. So that's how it all, I'm like, I'm playing Daggerfall.
So I mean, so what did your friends and family think when you told them that you were going to start planning on streaming?
Well, my daughters they didn't know what it was either, really. They were like, you want to do what? And I'm like, well, if you want to play Genshin Impact, we're doing it this way. this way or nothing. So she got on board that way. Now they like streaming, like they caught the bug like everybody has. And
Yeah.
because I was like, wait, people will just start, broadcasting themselves and people will watch, that doesn't make sense. But it does. But then you get into it like, oh, it makes perfect sense. I don't know what it is. It's a fun little, like I said, like you can find people that have the same interests. Like, and even like I can do a Bengals draft stream like I did last night, and people can watch the draft with me, where normally I'd be watching it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
This is more fun watching with other people.
Yeah.
And that's Twitch, pretty much, in a nutshell.
Indeed, it is.
It's more fun doing with other people.
So, Loomis, what struggles did you deal with when you first started streaming?
When I first started streaming, I like being, I guess, creative, right? I need to always be doing something, making something, right? And so that's when I was starting with Twitch, was figuring out, well, how can I make this as interactive as I can with what I have? And then I had I didn't know, now I use Sammy, and I use StreamerBot, and I use Snap Camera. I didn't know any of these things even were around. So I had to learn all this stuff, and OBS even, right? And Discord. I still suck at Discord, as Druid knows, and Stormy knows. I and my daughters, they keep having to tell me how to do things on Discord. It's the weirdest thing. I have this block with Discord. But even OBS and all this stuff I had to learn. And that's sort of everybody, right? How to learn all this stuff connects together. And I've learned so much over the couple of years I've been doing this. But now I've got all this. I've got all these buttons here I can push. I've got a Stream Deck now. What the heck am I doing owning a Stream Deck? But I've got a big Stream Deck. I've got my wife's old Surface laptop with running Sammy with a bunch of buttons, so I can push a bunch of buttons in. So.
Love that so much. It just steamrolls.
Yeah,
exactly, right? I got all this stuff now all around me that I never would have had. I've got I always had I had a Panasonic Lumix GH4 camera.
Wow.
That I use. It's like my own personal camera for if I go on vacations. I use it for taking photos, taking videos. It takes great video. And now it's my webcam. And, that's what I use. So all this stuff I've kind of had lying around doing nothing, I now am using all the time. So much that I have now 2 of these cameras because I needed another one. Not for streaming, because I have one always here, but if I need another one, I can grab whenever I want.
Yep. So you can actually go take photos with it.
Yes, exactly. Because I don't want to move this one. This one stays here, except now if you go, I was mentioning, I do have a Loomis360 YouTube channel that I used to put just clips and stuff on, but now I've kind of I also my daughter was in drama in high school, and I went to see the play, and I'm like, I really would like to shoot this, record it myself, so I could have a copy of this.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I don't think the drama teacher would like it if I did that, and I think they have a drama, an audio visual thing at the school where the kids shoot the plays. And what happened was there was this really good play, and the audio visual thing kind of shot it, and it was totally unusable. And then the drama teacher started asking me if I would actually shoot the plays, and I'm like, I would love to. So now my daughters don't even go there anymore, but I'm still shooting the plays. and editing the plays and putting them on YouTube, and that's what I use my Loomis360 channel for now, is basically using these cameras to shoot plays, putting them on YouTube, just for the kids in the drama department, really.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not for anything else. It's just so they can show their friends and family who don't live here, here's the play we did, check it out, And I had one play they did get like, I don't know, it's over 40,000 views.
Nice.
Which is really nice. The other ones are like, 500. And then there's one that's like blown up for some reason. I don't know why. But I think it's great that I can do that for these kids and watch these plays.
That's
And then
so
the drama
great.
teacher goes, well, I have to pay you something. I'm like, okay, if you must, But I was doing it for free.
Wow. So
But
I
now
have to
get a little
interrupt.
bit more. So now I have some money that I can put to do more stupid stuff in my stream. Like that Chat GPT that I just added.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. It's now a subscription based. You have to pay as you go with Chat GPT. So now my money goes into stupid crap like that.
So Loomis,
Yeah.
I have to interrupt our
and my wife
regular
can't yell at me
flow
about it.
a second and
What's
say I have to interrupt our regular flow a second and say we earlier we teased that you have 2 daughters and a non-human son who happens to be hanging out behind you. Tell us about him.
That's Boomer.
That's Boomer.
Yep, he's almost 13 years old now, but he still acts like a puppy. He's great. He's the best. I named him after Boomer Esiason, the old Cincinnati Bengals quarterback. Oh, now he's looking. He heard his name. What is it, Boomer? But that's like, so that thing back there was like a big beanbag chair I got for the girls, and then like there's a little like mattress inside there that folds out into a bed. And now it's basically just Boomer's thing because he's stolen it from everybody. He just lays in it.
Yep. Look at how he's like, I'm comfy now.
Yeah, so I have like a channel point redemption with Boomer where when he's lying there, people can do it, and the camera will zoom off of me and just zoom onto him and stay there for like a minute. So if you have to watch me, you can just watch Boomer back there because that's all anybody cares about.
I understand. I have a bird cult now because of that. What tips can you share with future streamers? Like, do you have any fun tips, any suggestions, any good little dad advice?
I would say just have fun. That's the whole. If you're not having fun, then you're doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Try to just have fun. Like I even was like nervous coming on this thing. I'm still, like I said, I was in television production as a photographer, news television photographer. And I always said I was on this side of the camera for a reason, because I suck on camera. Now here I am on camera. I still am very, I think I'm terrible on camera. I just don't feel natural at all still. This is after a couple of years. But I still don't think about that. I just want to come on here and just do whatever and have fun, and hopefully people can hang out and have fun with me. And that's all I want to do. And if I like to create. So the more I can add on, I'm always adding something to this stream, just because I have some stupid idea. There's one I just added that I can't show because it's on a newer version of OBS. I don't have it loaded on this one, but it was like just some. There's a web series called Legend of Neil. It's a Legend of Zelda take of. It's like but it's kind of a raunchy Legend of Zelda. So there's the old man who gives him the sword, and there's the guy, he goes, "Call me old man." So whenever someone calls me out of my age, I push that button.
Oh, that's awesome.
The old man. Then he winks at the camera, and then it goes off. And I'll just come up. Oh, I want this sound effect today. For some reason, I remember this. Some sound effect will just pop into my head that I haven't heard in years from a movie or something. And I'll say, you know what? I'm adding that. So I find it, and I either cut it out. Or, I have all these things, to either just do whatever whatever.
Yeah.
I have a lot. Most of it's, I got a lot of Austin Powers. You know what I mean?
Right. Show us the Viking helmet.
You got these guys. I if someone types in noise in my chat, that'll just pop up. Things just happen.
Right.
And I got my. Whenever I play D&D, I always, we usually do it through Discord. So I played my D&D like this.
Right on.
This is my D&D face.
So Loomis, what do you enjoy most about streaming?
Making this stuff. I like just creating all this stuff. I need, it's almost like I have to. It doesn't have to be good. I just have to do something
Mhm.
that, and usually the dumber the better. So that makes things easy to do. I can come up with stupid stuff all day long. It's when you have to because if you focus on making things perfect, then again you're not going to enjoy it. You're not gonna have fun. You're gonna be worrying about stupid stuff, and you're not gonna just do it. That's all. Just do it, and whatever comes out, and hopefully other people like it. But usually they're just in jokes for me, or something that I enjoy that no one else does, and I don't care because I'm doing it that way.
I understand that one
Right?
for sure.
That's the thing about OBS is you can just add all this stuff to your stream. You can add, your spinning logo. You can, add, camera moves. You can add whatever you want,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just great.
Oh, it's
I think
so
like
good.
my lights in the back. People can change the color if they want, and if I get raided or something, they go like, they start doing this, and it happens. It just happens when I get a raid or I get a follow or I get a sub. Just the lights go off.
Mm-hmm.
What's
We're
really
getting
cool is
ahead
that
of
we're sitting
ourselves.
here
That's
in the
one of the
middle of the
questions.
day, and all of a sudden those lights go off. I'm like, what the heck just happened? I'll go, oh, someone just followed me. Oh, that's weird. It just I'll say, wait a minute, what? So I just like stuff like that. I can do this all day. Yeah,
So I understand that you grew up on a farm.
I did.
Can you share a little bit about that experience? What kind of farm, and how long were you there?
I think what happened was my parents had a midlife crisis because we lived here in a suburb of Cincinnati, really nice, right? And then all of a sudden we're going to move, and we're moving out to the country. And I was in the 6th grade. I was going into the 6th grade, okay? And so we move out like an hour and a half just east of here. It's like the poorest, most rural county in Ohio. And that's saying something, okay? And so we lived on this farm. We had a gravel driveway that was almost a mile long.
Wow.
To this, we had like 150 acres because everything's measured in acres when you live out there. That's a lot, but it was mostly hills and trees, and we had like this old tobacco barn. We didn't raise tobacco. There was an old tobacco barn on the property. It was well water because, we had to get eventually a, those giant satellite dishes you used to see in people's yards because we lived in this valley, and we couldn't pick up any television at all. 0 television signals. So we eventually got this satellite, so I had to learn where all the satellites were. And that's how I got into hockey, because I could find any game I wanted. So I kind of learned the rules when I was a kid. But like, no one I never liked it. I never enjoyed my time out there because I'm more of a I want to move now that my kids are out of the house. I want to move downtown. I want to live in the city now.
Yeah.
Where I can just go out and do whatever. So being out in the middle of nowhere was something. But then one day my dad comes home. I don't know how old I was. This might have been like when I was in the 8th grade, 7th grade. He comes home with a PC, and this is back. So this was if anybody knows what I'm talking about, this was like an old 386. It had the CPU was like an 8 megahertz processor, but it had a turbo button on the front. You could push to get up to 12 megahertz. It had a 30 megabyte hard drive, and it had like this EGA monitor, which these old people who are old like me know what I'm talking about. And that's when my first game was King's Quest 4. And that from there I was hooked, and now my Sunday streams are almost always going to be some sort of like point and click adventure game of some kind or something like that, something chill where I can just solve these puzzles and live in this little pixelated world. So that started my whole point and click love affair. That's why I feel like Monkey Island 2 is still my favorite game of all time. There's LeChuck from Monkey Island right here. Monkey Island is still the best.
What kind of farm was it?
It was just technically I guess it was a farm, because it was a lot of acreage and stuff in the middle of nowhere. We had horses, we had cows, we had sheep, we had chickens.
Wow.
We had like 5 dogs at one point and like 17 cats, most of which who lived in that barn, right? And like the dog, like we had one dog before Boomer, like when I was growing up, we had a dog, and he just showed up on our front porch one day and never left. And it was the greatest dog besides Boomer's. Boomer's really awesome too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I almost think it might be even the same dog if you believe in that kind of stuff. You know, it's almost like, because there's just a lot similarity. They're quiet. Like Boomer never barks. He doesn't chew anything. He doesn't even play fetch. You could care less. If you throw a stick, he'll just look at you like, what do you want? But yeah. But it was like so that was the farm I lived on. I was still like playing, computer games and all this stuff, but then I was also like in 4-H, raising sheep and doing all sorts of stuff in 4-H, for God's sakes. And then the day after I graduated high school, we moved back to the city. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Wow.
The day after I graduated high school.
Wow,
I was
that's
like,
rough,
out
brother.
of there all these years.
That's rough.
Civilization.
Couldn't you have done it like a year or two sooner, right?
Exactly. Yes. So my brother's 2 years younger than me, so he got that.
He got lucky.
He got to
All
come
right.
back for the last 2 years.
So shifting gears a little bit here, what is your favorite food and your least favorite food?
My favorite food, I've always been, there's always steaks. I'm a big steak guy, and like growing up, I was always a big lasagna fan.
Mm-hmm.
Least favorite, I've never, believe it or not, I don't like fruits for some reason. Like I just any fruits I just don't like at all.
Anyone in particular that's worse than the rest that makes you gag?
Yeah, I don't know. They're all bad.
Okay.
But I really wish like there's one thing you should like, if I liked fruits, that'd be so much better for me, Fruits are good for you, which is probably why I hate them, but like I can stand bananas, I can stand apples, but anything else, no, I can't do it. It's terrible. Terrible.
So funny.
If fruits taste like chocolate, I'd be the healthiest person around.
Wouldn't we all?
Yeah, exactly.
Chocolate's technically a fruit. Just saying.
Is it? Oh, well, there you
The
go.
original, like, chocolate comes from...
Cacao, yeah, that's true, yeah.
Yep.
Is cacao, that's a fruit?
Yep.
I didn't know that. How about but dark chocolate? Dark chocolate's the best.
It's so good.
Oh,
I love dark chocolate.
dark chocolate is the best.
Okay. What are some interesting things that you can share about your daughters and your non-human child? What are some things that you would like to share?
My daughters
Making
stream.
fun.
Like I said, they left me and they started their own competing channel, Hal Mal Productions. I guess the cat's out of that. Hal Mal is their initials,
Mm.
and so I came up with that name. I actually registered Hal Mal Productions, or even got like a website or something like a long time ago. And I'm like, here, you guys can just have this now.
Mm.
So now they are Hal Mal Productions.
Nice.
They do art. They do Dungeons and Dragons. Mostly, that's mostly what they do. Like they do, they make stuff for other streamers and stuff like that. And so, that's them. Which is funny because those two, they're 2 years apart, but everybody thinks they're twins. They're both 5 feet tall and like 100 pounds soaking wet. They're tiny people. But so everybody thinks they're like 14 when they're actually like 18,
Yep.
But they've taken it and they've made it their own, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you're getting a computer, so they want to build their own computer this summer. That's gonna be one thing they want to do.
Right on.
Make their own computer.
Cool. And Boomer, can you tell us an interesting story about Boomer?
Boomer, I got him on Thanksgiving, 12 and a half years ago or whatever it's been now. He was from a animal rescue fund, it's called around here. It's a place like 10 minutes away. And they have a little website, and then I always wanted a Bichon. That's what Boomer. He's a Bichon Frise.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that sometimes this place would get them. And I kept checking their website. And then on Thanksgiving, I checked the website, and here's a litter of Bichons. I'm like, holy crap. There were 6 of them. And so we drove out there right away, 10-minute drive, and there were 2 left.
Wow.
And I always say the way to pick a dog, if there's a whole litter of puppies, you go up to them and all the dogs come running up, and they want to lick your hand and stuff. And then there's always that one that's like sleeping in the back corner by himself. That's the one you want.
Why?
Because he won't be a crazy mess. He'll be a calm, chill dog. And he won't chew things. And he'll behave better because, he's just chill by nature.
Yeah.
That's smart. Very wise. Very wise.
That's what Boomer kind of was. He was like, I think he was the smallest one in the litter too. But he was perfect. Yeah, he was perfect. I got him when he was a little puppy. He was, just old enough to come home, and now he's almost 13.
Druid, Boomer cult now.
Crazy. What's that?
Boomer cult. Sorry, I keep saying cults.
I've got his. Can't post it here. Post it in the thing.
Next question.
He's got his own emote. There's a Boomer emote.
Right on.
There it is. Post it in the chat. There's the Boomer emote.
I want to see it.
I just put a smiley face and eyebrows on him. That's basically all.
So Loomis.
Yes.
Next question. Can you tell us an interesting story that happened to you while you were a photojournalist?
How gruesome do you want to go?
Well, we try and keep things lighthearted and fun here, so
let's see here. I'll go gruesome first, just to get out of the way, because I still remember this one.
Okay.
This is back when I was like in Toledo. I had just started. I was working overnights. So I started like 11:30 p.m. and I worked till like 8 a.m. And I was covering whatever would happen. And they sent me to some accident. Some guy was walking across this, like, it's not a highway, but it was like 2 lanes and a median and then 2 lanes. You're like, kind of a fast road. Some drunk guy was walking across the road and got hit. And I think he got killed. And so I'm sitting there talking to the cop saying, trying to get the information. And he goes, there's his brains right there. I look down and go, oh my God. It's like, am I supposed to be standing here? Should I go over there, please? I don't want to see this.
Get me out of here.
He goes, there's your brain. And then there was like, there was an accident at a local, it was one of those small airports. You know what I mean? So it was like a little personal 2-seater plane, right? Propeller plane that I guess took off in the fog and didn't get high enough and clipped the trees and wrecked. And it was this backwoods sheriff guy who was working the scene, right? And he's like, he's like, yeah, you want to see this? You want to see the scene? Let's walk back there. I'm like, okay. I was the only one there, right, covering this thing. And we walk back there, and there's the plane with like the charred body sitting in the cockpit. I'm like, no, I'm good. Thanks. I'm going to go now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't need this. Thanks for nothing. Then I've also covered the circus and like rode the bear. I've covered the Super Bowl.
Did you say you rode a bear?
You just glossed over the fact that you rode a bear, and I just need to know more about that, please. As a druid,
the Ringling Brothers back when they were doing all that stuff, right?
Oh,
it
wow.
was like for the morning show, they'll interview the circus people. So I had to go there and do a live shot for the morning show, and they were doing the circus people, and they had the bear. They brought the bear out. They're like, "You want to ride him?" I'm like, "Sure," And I will say that bears, like, their skin is very loose. So like staying on top of a bear is very hard because it's like you slide the whole top of his skin just slides right left. And they smell awful.
Oh wow!
They smell terrible. Just know that bears stink.
So you'll smell them coming before you see them coming.
I've done things on like a lot of parade, opening day parades they have here for like the Reds, and there's all these cool pieces. I've tried to do a lot of times you have to do pieces on people, and those are the best. Like we did a story. Me and this one reporter who was a good friend of mine. we started this thing. His name was Tony Now, GNAU. And so we did this, where's Tony Now? And we did this thing, we'd pull a name of a town around here out of a hat. We'd go to that town, find a local place, and say, send us to an interesting person. And then they'd send us to that person, and we'd just do a story on that person. Kind of like what you're doing right now. You know, it's kind of like a pre-podcast. We just do a story. All we do is, so like we got sent out to that county I used to live in on the farm, right?
Oh, wow.
And it was this guy who was the drummer for the band Mountain. And he was also like a studio musician. So he worked with like Elvis, and he worked with like all these people playing drums for like tracks for their albums and stuff. And he was a great guy. He had all these, you know, like newspaper clippings and stuff from his life. He was showing us all this stuff. And he's like from the band Mountain's a very popular band from back in the 70s. Wow. And he was in that band. And now he's just living on a farm in the middle of nowhere.
Amazing.
So we did a full story on him. That was fun, you know?
Uh-huh. Next question to you, Druid.
What did you like what if I could talk, that'd be cool. What did you like about working for a big media company, and what did you not like about it?
It could get depressing. I didn't like that.
Then what did you like?
What did I like? I liked meeting the interesting people and doing stories and making like when people want you to be there, then you're going to have a good day. You know what I mean? Like if you talking to cool people, doing cool stuff, or like, you know, getting access to, you know, cool things you wouldn't normally get to be at, like every year for in September is that Labor Day? Yeah, for Labor Day, they have this big fireworks display in town, right? This huge, people come, like traffic is a mess. There's just all sorts of people downtown. There's this huge fireworks display. Well, I get posted right there in like the best seat in the house, and I get to like record it sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
That's fun. That's great. You know what I mean? Or like going to like, I have to shoot like the local, you know, like UC basketball game or Xavier basketball game or the Bengals game or the Reds game. You get to go. I've been in their locker rooms talking to the players. You know, that's fun.
Oh, that's cool.
That
especially for like a sports fan. That's super cool.
Yeah, that is cool. So sometimes you get backstage access to some stuff that you never would get. But like, I'm now pretty much out of the business completely. The whole pandemic thing kind of killed it, because what I did was I started working freelance for like NBC National, because I have a buddy who was doing it, and he needed someone to help him do sound. He was doing the video. I was like, you know, the guys with the big sound pack and the big microphone and a pole. That was me. I was doing that. Right. And then the pandemic happened, and because what happened was NBC has crews like us all around the country. And when something happens, like draw a big circle around Cincinnati, like a 200-mile circle around Cincinnati. That was our area, pretty much. So they had something they needed covered in that area. They would call us, and we'd go do it. But then the pandemic happened, and all that kind of stopped and dried up. And but to be honest, that was fine, because this country is not the same as it used to be. And a lot of the stuff was really getting bad and depressing, and I didn't want to cover it anymore.
I understand.
Yeah.
Did not want to cover it anymore.
Well,
so
here's a topic that's not depressing. As I was saying earlier, I'm especially a big fan of the way you use live augmented reality overlays that your audience can interact with during your stream. And you've kind of told us that those are all kind of, you know, how you do those with Snapchat and stuff, OBS integrations and stuff. Can you instead then kind of tell us, you know, how you choose them and what are some of your favorites?
Well, like one of my favorites, you know, is this one.
Yeah.
Then I had some that like, I made one for Halloween, right? So like, I did the voice modulation effect where your voice is like a lot lower. And then I do like, let me see, do I have any here? What is this one? Like I could do creepy clown. Or
poor Aries is going to be creeped out.
This one, you know what I mean?
Wow,
like
that's
stuff
cool.
like this. And so imagine my voice is like really demonic sounding.
Yeah.
So it's like a channel point redemption for like Halloween, called it Possessed. I have another one that does like sci-fi. That's not it. Hang on.
Oh, They Live.
Like
yeah.
Like sci-fi. The They Live is is a thing where like if they go, where is that?
I'm come here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum. Classic.
Yeah.
Classic movie.
So that's just something they type in. That's not even a channel point. They just type in chew, like exclamation mark chew, and that pops up. You know. So I have a lot of these little sounds that pop up, or little videos like that pop up. That I just, you know what, I just one day that sound from that movie came into my head. I'm like, I'm gonna make that for my stream, and that's basically how it happens.
Wow.
And somehow, like I'm like, you know, brushing my teeth or something, and all of a sudden I start thinking about that. I'm like, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna make that right now. So, and then it's in my stream. That's kind of how it happens.
Fantastic.
I love that.
A lot of the movies that I watched growing up, you know, make it into my stream, right? Like you know, all these, like all these, like that's my favorite movie. Army of Darkness is my favorite movie of all time.
All right,
a bunch of Army of Darkness stuff in there.
That's a great one.
You know, like I wanted to, like people use the noise all the time. It's like, well, I know that's from Key and Peele, right? I can find that and I can add that to my stream whenever someone uses noise. You know, there you go. Or like if anyone does LOL, do I even have it in here? I don't have it. You can't do it unless you do it in my stream, I think. Like if I go, then you get the duck hunt thing, because you know I wanted something because people type stuff like that all the time. Then I wanted something like if I like people lurk. So if people do the lurk, because everybody always does the exclamation mark lurk, but no one ever has an exclamation mark lurk. So then I just make the lurk thing happen.
That's so cool.
I just knew I wanted something for lurk. So I'm like, okay, well let's go on Google and just type in spooky girl or spooky something, and then or go on YouTube and find stuff. So like that girl coming out, I found on a YouTube video already green screened. So that's easy. Just grab that, put that in there, boom. You know what I mean?
So great.
Like
I love that so much.
Yeah, so I just try to keep things happening. Mainly because I don't feel comfortable. Like I still don't remember. I look into the camera. Like you were talking, I was looking over here at Stormy. No, Stormy, I should look over here. Stormy's here, and I should know this. But I'm terrible on camera, so I know that, and so I have this stuff here to like distract people, to not focus on me because I'm terrible. Focus on the stupid stuff.
It's that security blanket for you.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Hey,
right?
we all gotta have the thing, you know. All right, I'm gonna just ask the next question. We're changing pace a little bit. But it kind of ties into like being in like media and whatever, I guess. So, what is the least interesting place you have traveled to?
Oh boy. Well, I worked in Toledo. I lived there. That place is pretty uninteresting, I tell you. I wouldn't recommend going to Toledo for anybody. It's not a great little town. God.
Least interesting place you had to travel to out of your own state.
Well, let's see. We have West Virginia a lot. Those towns in West Virginia are pretty uninteresting. The whole state. Although I have been in like a mine in West Virginia. That's one of those, you know, interesting things you can go to. We went to like inside a mine that was being used. Cool. That was interesting. But the towns I guess some of the towns are interesting, I should say, in West Virginia because they were built back like before automobiles, you know, and they haven't really grown since then. So the streets are really small, like to drive cars. They still drive cars down them, but it's like, this isn't made for this. You can kind of tell these streets aren't made for cars, but they still, you know, so these towns have never changed. They're like, you know, looking into the past, going into these places. But, well, everything has their own little charm. The one thing I always like to do though, when we go into some place we have never been, we have to ask, okay, so where do you guys go to eat around here? And you always know if you've got someone cool, if they go, well, there's this place called Applebee's, you know. No, I can go to Applebee's forever. Like we were in some West Virginia television station. We were feeding video through the satellite back to New York or wherever they needed it, right? Because of the story we did. And so we're talking to the guy. This is like an overnight shift. The guy working this tape room, and we're like, where should we go to eat? He goes, do you like Tex-Mex? You know, yeah, okay, yeah, we kind of like Tex-Mex. There's this place that just opened up. It's called Chipotle. And I actually turned around and walked out the door because I was about to just burst out laughing at this guy because this whole place was like, of course he's going to say something like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's.
So you know
So Loomis, what is
uninteresting places like that?
what is the weirdest sleeping dream you've ever had, and the weirdest place you have slept?
Weirdest place I have slept. God, let's see. We had some early mornings for doing this. Like one time it got so cold one winter that the entire Lake Erie, which is like north of Cleveland, and between Ohio and Canada, is the Great Lake Erie, completely froze over, like a lot. And there was like all this snow. It was like negative 40 degrees out or something like that, and I was probably sleeping somewhere on that lake, like in a car or in something.
Yeah.
I needed to take a nap, and there was no other place to go. Like, luckily, I never did hurricanes. I never covered a hurricane. Because I like, on purpose, I never covered hurricanes. Because if you want to talk about sleeping in weird places, the people who cover those, because there's no power anywhere, and there's, the roads are, it's just a miserable experience covering a hurricane. And I can imagine, I've heard stories of people in there of places they've slept that are really weird.
And weirdest sleeping dream you've ever had?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. That's a tough one.
I mean, if you can't think of one off the top of your head.
Like, I have all sorts of weird dreams, but it's like as soon as I wake up, they're like gone. Like, what was like it was. You have this very vivid image in your head for like a split second, and then all of a sudden you're like, I just forgot all the details, and just like that, and I don't know what it was. I don't know if I can answer that question because it's like dreams.
That's okay.
Disappear.
That's okay. That isn't an answer. That actually is an answer.
Do you have a really weird dream, Stormy? I want to hear this.
Do I have? Yeah. Well, you can ask me that in the last part. But yeah, I will answer it.
When I do my own interview thing.
No. I mean, in a little bit after we're done with your interview, I will answer that question for you.
Okay.
Yeah, you can ask us questions, all the questions you want.
Right.
So we've talked about your hobby of hockey. Hockey as a hobby. Do you have any other hobbies besides hockey, streaming?
No, just photography has always been a hobby of mine, right? Like video mostly. Like I've always been doing stuff like that. Like when my kids were young, I would make all sorts of, videos of like vacations, or like I have one of them sledding in the snow and stuff like that. And I'd edit it all together with video and audio and music and stuff. And that's always been something I've always been drawn to. Which is funny because like when I was in college, like I didn't know what I wanted to do because I had grown up on this freaking farm right in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. I had like my high school had nothing at all. We had a tennis court and outside one tennis court. It was actually part of a parking lot, and like the net was like a chain link fence that was all broken. That was the net for the tennis court. I never saw anybody ever play tennis. But like, so I go to college. Like I was one of like, I don't know, 5 people in my class of 100 that went to college, right? And so I had no idea. The world was open to me at this point. So I was like looking around going, and they said, hey, they have the college radio station. And they said, do you want to want to join the radio station, come to this meeting? I'm like, yeah. And then, so I had a radio. I had a heavy metal radio show during college that I had for years. And I was like, just because it was something I'd never had access to before, like, that was awesome, by the way, because you'd get stuff in the mail from all these record labels all the time. I still have like T-shirts and stuff that I got in the mail just for free. You get all these. Most of my music collection back then was like sent to me for free. When you're a poor college kid, that's like the dream.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and then from there, I was like, well, what if then there was the whole television? They had a television news on the station and all this other stuff. And I'm like, my thought process was, for being a news photographer, I'm like, well, someone has to do that job, so it might as well be me. That was literally what I thought. I'm like, someone has to do it, right? It's a job that people do. Well, why not me? So that's how I got into the whole thing.
Right on.
Now I went on a tangent. So what was the question?
Oh, you got us.
You answered it.
Yeah, you did.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I'm not sure if I did.
So, Loomis, what are your top 3 favorite PC games?
Monkey Island 2, Monkey Island 1, and then probably Daggerfall.
Nice choices.
Yeah.
Stormy approves.
Or I'd probably just throw Elder Scrolls in general, I guess. Oh, well, I can't do that because that includes like Redfall and crap like that. I'll just Daggerfall. Daggerfall is probably my favorite Elder Scrolls series.
Perfect.
I
Do you have any interesting stories that you can tell about your most recent hiking trip with your family?
We saw no bears. I was kind of disappointed in that. We didn't see any wildlife at all until we were packing up the car to leave, and then these wild turkeys walked by. That was the only time we saw anything, which is nice because, all right, so we went down to Cashiers, they call it, not Cash. It's spelled Cashiers, Cashiers, North Carolina, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a lot of hiking and stuff. That's all I wanted to do was go hiking and see waterfalls. So that was our plan. So I did a lot of that, and it was great. We saw really cool waterfalls. But there was one waterfall we were trying to go see, and we Google mapped it. And Google Maps took us to there was this dirt road right off this main little road, and then there was a fence, and it said this road is closed to protect wildlife, but it had a picture of a hiker saying hiking available at all times. It was basically a logging road or something, right? It was like a wide dirt road with some gravel, and it was really wide, and it was a really easy uphill hike. And the map showed Google Maps showed an hour, a mile and a half or 2 mile hike one way to get to this trail we thought to go to the waterfall, right? Uh-huh. And so we're walking down this thing, and it was me and my brother and my mom. And my mom's getting up there, right? So, but she was hiking, no problems. But we're the only people around. We saw nobody else. We hear nothing. It's just quiet as can be out there. And we finally get to where I think is the real trail to get to the waterfall. And what it is just this curved line from where we are to the waterfall, which means there's no way to get there from here. But if you were a crow that could fly there, you're this way, right? So if you could fly, there's your way to get to the waterfall. And I'm like, oh, there's no way to get to this place. We're in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, if we find a bear now, we are screwed. That's one thing. Please no bears right now, because nobody knows we're out here. There's not a soul for miles. We will not be found for days, if not weeks, So luckily there were no bears, but I was concerned. I was really, because my mom was there too. I'm like, if anything happens to her, how are we going to get her back to the car? This is a bad situation.
Yeah.
But I will say, if you do want to go see waterfalls, there are some good ones out there.
Okay.
And they're good hikes too. Even really good hikes. The trails are really nice. So.
Well, we saved the best and most important question for last for you. You ready for it, brother? Mm-hmm. Cake or pie?
Cake.
Why? And what kind is your favorite?
Chocolate. Anything with chocolate.
Anything with chocolate.
Yeah, anything with chocolate. Although my mom makes this cake that I always ask for on my birthday. And what it is crushed Oreo cookies on the bottom. That's your bottom. That's your crust layer, basically.
Uh-huh.
Bottom. It's not even a crust. So anyway, crushed Oreo cookies, and then mint chocolate chip ice cream on the top, and you put that in the freezer. And there's your cake. There's your cake, right? Put it in the freezer, and then you take it out later on. You cut it up, and you pour chocolate syrup over the top, and it is the best.
That doesn't sound like a cake.
I know.
It's an ice cream cake.
It's an ice cream cake. But normally I would go with just a chocolate cake or a double chocolate whatever, or something with a lot of layers that has to do with chocolate. Chocolate is the key, is all I can tell you.
Starkey would love what he just described.
Anything with fruit in it.
Mm.
I'm not going to eat it. And that's like pie. The only pie I can think of really is like pumpkin pie.
Right.
I'll do pumpkin pie all day, but I'm not going to eat an apple pie. It's not going to happen.
No cherry pie.
Happen. So exactly. See, no. So you can pretty much just take out almost all the pies right away, and that basically just leaves you with cakes.
Gotcha.
So it's cakes. I can answer that question real easy. Cakes.
Right on.
But I just gave you a good, if you want a nice easy cake to make that ice cream cake.
Okay.
Thank me later. Every birthday I ask for that.
Phenomenal.
Yum.
Still.
I can do ice cream cake, but I don't like cake at all. But that's because I have a personal grudge against cake.
Personal grudge against cake? Wait a minute. It's just leave it like that.
I was a cake decorator for 4 years. And my hand does not work anymore.
Oh, yeah. That's I get crap all the time from my chat because I don't play with mouse and keyboard, right? I controller only. I think Stormy might even have given me crap for this too.
Yes.
I'm not sure, maybe.
Yes.
But I'm only, because now if I do it after an hour of moving the mouse around, my hand is stuck like this, and I have to forcibly open my hand again, and I'm I just can't do it. I got to use a controller. I can sit here and I can lean back, and this chair is great. I love this chair. I can just sit back like this with a controller in my hand and just play video games. It's perfect. Why would I go mouse and keyboard anymore?
Gotcha.
I'm the opposite. My hands get stuck like this, and they get clamped up with the controller. So for me, the mouse and keyboard is way better.
See, you're the opposite. That's weird.
Yeah, because my hand gets to be open more. Though I will say that my hand does start hurting after a while with the keyboard or with the mouse. So I do understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe you're getting old like me.
My hand.
Yeah.
That
was one thing I had to get out. I had to stop doing the news photography because my back just couldn't take it anymore. Because you have the camera itself weighs 20 something pounds. You got the tripod that also weighs 20 something pounds. You got whatever other gear you got, and after a while, your back just goes, no, I can't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
Do you want to wrap this up there, Druid?
Call me old man, I say.
Yeah.
I wish I had that video up here. I'd play it. It was good.
All right, guys. Before we hand over questions to chat, we're going to share Loomis's link. So all of you in chat must go do that. And Loomis, if you have any questions for us, you're welcome to ask. Chat, while we're discussing those things, if you have any questions for Loomis, start piling those into chat now.
I'm sure I'm going to ask questions that have already been asked, but I don't.
You're allowed to ask whatever you want.
How do you guys know each other?
Oh,
and then how do you guys know each other, and then know each other enough to start?
Well, it started through Izolade is one of he's my first mod besides Star Kitty, obviously, and he also helped me get my Discord up and going. And it just so happens that he was also a follower who did the same thing for Druid. And he once asked me to raid a different streamer, actually, Just Me Josher, which is somebody that she followed. And we ended up...
I was a moderator for Just Me Josher.
Yeah.
And I need that link then. I don't know.
We chatted basically in Just Me Josher's chat. And
a lot?
Yeah, a lot. Oh. And then eventually I found out, of course, that she's a streamer, that their husband Extirpate Fate is a streamer, and I checked out their stuff and we chatted some more and just kind of connected, and then eventually we started talking and thought they had shared that she really was curious, wanted to play D&D, and Fate had told me that she never got to have a really good experience playing. She dabbled a little bit, but she didn't have a good experience. And so I was like, well, let's make it happen. And so everything snowballed from there. It turns out
I
that
guess, yeah.
the four of us are just very.
Look at you guys. Oh,
Yeah.
see, look, someone just. Look at that. I just got to follow. Look at my
That's
legs
awesome.
going.
Thank
See?
you for
See
dropping
my
in
legs
the
going in the
follow.
back?
So,
Thank you.
so Loomis, you said
Thank you,
earlier
Banana.
you asked me a question, and I said I would answer it at the end. It was the weirdest dream I've had.
Yes.
I still have it. It's not a I have some recurring dreams, but I don't.
Because it must be something. If you remember it, it must be like.
Yeah, this one is
really
one
crazy.
that I have as a kid that stuck out with
Oh,
me
wow.
so much.
Okay.
Druid, you got to go
Wow.
pee. Is that what you're about to?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So this one stuck out with me so much that I've always remembered it. And it was a dream where, in the dream, for some reason, I was teamed up with the Adam West Batman and Robin.
Okay. Yeah.
And we were.
It sounds good so far.
Yeah, we were somehow or another. I was like there. I was helping them fight crime or fight some villain. And it wasn't like it was like one of those dreams where it was nebulous in the back of your mind. We were going to fight some villain, right?
Yes.
And then somehow or another, the dream shifted where this giant hairball, literally a giant ball of hair, was chasing us. And it absorbed Robin and basically swallowed him and ate him. And we're running away from the giant ball of hair. And it just terrified me so much. And then I woke up and that was it.
See, I don't know about you, but like I have the worst memory. Like I just forget like names like 2 seconds after I told them. Like I can't remember things that happened a year ago. So like dreams also, they just go. They just out of my head. As soon as I wake up, they're like, "What was I dreaming about? It was something cool. It's gone." You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't know maybe it's a memory thing. Like if you have a better memory, maybe you remember stuff like dreams more. I don't know.
Not necessarily. I think it's like anything. It's something you can practice, right? Because in my 20s, I used to practice studying, dreamology and studying dreams, and I got into that kind of, stuff in my 20s, and so I would practice lucid dreaming. And you first start practicing lucid dreaming by first practicing remembering dreaming. And you do that by having a notepad and pen by your bed, and then when you're dreaming, if you wake up, you immediately write down the dream. And so what happens is you start to get your brain into a habit of remembering the dream. And then once you start
writing down stuff definitely helps me.
Yes, exactly. And then once you go down that rabbit hole, you can actually start practicing lucid dreaming, which is, where you become consciously aware in the dream that it's a dream and start taking control of it and doing all kinds of crazy neat things like flying, swimming through the earth, moving through walls, all kinds of stuff like that.
If I do have a lot, nights where like you have your mind is like really going and you're dreaming crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I always know when I wake up the next morning, I am just exhausted. It's like I didn't sleep at all.
Really?
If I have crazy dreams, yeah.
See, I'm just the opposite. If I have deep, vivid dreams that I remember, I wake up more refreshed from that.
Okay.
So, it's just one of those things. Like we all have different biochemical makeups. I think different patterns, because really your brain is just a neural network, right? Neurons firing in different ways and in different patterns. So.
Because if there's one thing I wish I could change is I could remember, like my memory was a lot better. I don't know what it is. Like I was in some other streamer's chat when she was streaming, and we have almost the exact same thing with memory. We both are almost like I can still sing the lyrics to songs I haven't heard for 20 years that I was from bands I like. I can remember those word for word, but ask me anything else and it's gone. I can't like even my family like, remember this happening? I'm like, no, I don't remember this at all.
Drew, do you want to do that one? Looks like Aries has a question for Loomis.
Oh.
Actually, I'm gonna do Aries'. He asked a question first.
That's what I said.
He said,
yeah.
D-Gamer Aries says, so I missed most of this thanks to rude drivers, but Loomis, what are your media plans? I've heard you have a media background, so what do you plan to do with your streams, like future goals? Tying in that media stuff. I'm just gonna extrapolate and say, like, do you plan on doing like more VOD stuff, more stuff behind the scenes? Are you gonna be?
No, because like I said, streaming for me is more of a just a creative outlet. It's more just to do it. You know, like if you have that creative gene, streaming is I think a good way to just kind of get it out sometimes. You know, that's why I make all these stupid things. So I don't know what my plan is in the future so much. Because I'm still, since my whole background is on the other side of the camera, I still don't feel comfortable on this side of the camera. So I'm just still kind of working that out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How long have you been streaming for? Like
2.5? No, wait a minute. No, it had to be. Is it going on 3 years now? What is time anyway? Really?
what
I don't
is
know.
time anyway?
I think I'm going on 3 years, but like I said, because my memory sucks. I just went over this, right? I can't remember. So like things just kind of meld together. So has it been 2 years, or has it been 3 years? I can't tell you.
I know that it's been more than 2 years.
It's the weirdest. I hate this feeling. I wish I could just like it really bothers me that I can't remember things like that. But I think it's been 3 years. It has to have been. This has got to be 3 years coming up, like really soon. 3 years.
Looks like Aries has another question.
Like May.
What would you recommend for a baby streamer to do for more Twitch interactions?
I like Sammy, Sammi, a lot, because that integrates with OBS really well. Organize your stuff, because that's something I didn't do when I first started streaming. Because I have like almost like 2 sets of folders on my computer now. I have the crap when I first started that's all over the place, and now I have my newer stuff that's more organized in folders in the right places. So make sure you've got that. But just there's a lot of free stuff. There's a lot of free tutorials on YouTube. YouTube is amazing. I so wish I had YouTube when I was growing up. That's a game changer. I keep telling my girls this. You don't know how lucky you are to have YouTube, because like that's how you learn. That's how there's a lot of streamers on Twitch. A lot of the stuff like that Final Fantasy thing that when I got to follow, that was made by the guy in England who's a streamer. And so there's all sorts of stuff like that. He actually has a what's it called? StreamUp is his website now. That you can get that if you want. StreamUp.com, I think is what it is. So you can just grab that Final Fantasy, thing if you want it. It's out there. All these things are out there. But yeah, so if you have like an extra, like say, laptop or a tablet, even better, laying around you don't use, put Sammy on it. Put Sammy on your computer. Just figure out how to get stuff going on. You can just push a button. You can just push a button and just do whatever you want. It does whatever you make it do.
So
and if you don't know how to do it, there's all sorts of free ways to find out. There's chats, there's YouTube videos, there's all sorts of stuff, right?
I think your advice to keep things organized will land well for Aries, because I suspect that that's something that he has been.
Well,
he's OCD about anyway.
This little section on my hard drive of when I first started that because everything is now linked on my OBS and on my Sammy. So if I move it, then I have to find out where that is, because I have so much crap now on my OBS. You know what I mean? So many scenes and so many things on here. If I move it, then I got to find it and figure out what I just broke. So if I just keep it where it is, it won't break.
Mm-hmm.
But so I just have a new section on my computer where if I add anything new, anything from like the first year on is now in my new section, and everything else is on my old section. It's just going to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I somehow get bored enough to want to actually try to move everything around. But that will probably never happen.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest. That's never going to happen. So, but just keep making stuff. Just keep, look around. Like you get a lot of ideas from other streams. I get slapped on my stream a lot. I'm sure I didn't come up with that. Like people have like a punch or something. I have a slap that happens. And I just found that slap file on YouTube, right? As a green screen thing. It was already made. and I just took it, and then I found like some Three Stooges audio to add on top of it, and then I added some more slaps. Now I have a Will Smith thing I added on top of that. So you just kind of learn as you go, and you just kind of pile on to what you already did, and it's fun, right?
Keep your wife's name.
Yeah, I got that, and it comes up like there's like a 10% chance you're gonna get Will Smith, but I've got E Honda's slap on there, and I've got just the regular. I started out with just the regular slap. I'm like, well, let's see what else I can add to this. So later on, I added some more stuff, and then I added some more stuff, and then it's kind of then you've got all this stuff.
Then you got all this stuff.
It's like Dagoth has a new question.
And it becomes a whole problem in itself. But
Dagoth's question.
It's a fun problem. There's bad problems, there's good problems. This is more of a good problem.
Right. Dagoth has a good question. Although in a way you kind of already do this with your overlays. But he asks, would you ever consider doing cosplay? Sounds dumb, but I think you'd pull off an amazing Frank West from Dead Rising. He was a photojournalist as well, so it may fit your stream.
Maybe. We're actually, next month, there's like an anime convention in town, so me and my daughters are going to go to that, and we've never been to one. So that'll be cool. And my girls have done cosplay. Like there's a Renaissance festival in town that we've gone to, and they like get dressed up for that. I usually don't, because I don't really have anything. But like I said, with Snapcam, like for Dungeons and Dragons, like I can just become a warrior Viking just like that, and that's good enough. I like this as cosplay. I can, because you can,
What's that big orange furry thing that you sometimes do? Is that an overlay or is that an actual costume?
No, that's actual. That's Gritty. That's Gritty from. I'm a big hockey fan, right? So this is the Flyers mascot, Gritty, and I just got this off of Amazon, right? But so it's a channel point redemption. So they can make me put this on for 5 minutes. So I'm playing a game, I have to play wearing this Gritty mask, or I've got like a hockey helmet and hockey gloves I can put on as a channel point redemption. So I have to play a game with a controller with big freaking hockey gloves on my hands, right? So, and that's something I had laying around. Like, what can I do with this? That I can make it more, work in the stream, and chat can mess around with it and whatnot.
Yeah.
So those are just things. It's an easy thing to just add in. Stuff you have laying around, or you can put things whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
You can make anything a channel point redemption, really, if you want to.
You're
I try not to
so
mess
true.
around with bits too much, because I almost feel like bits might be like keeping people from using stuff. They don't go that far. So I just do channel point, or I just have it like I like just hiding things, because you can make it Twitch chat, like just like if someone types in noise, all of a sudden that noise will come up. If people type in LOL, that duck hunt thing will come up just out of the blue, just as it's just going. And I like that even more than channel points, really.
And
it just kind of happens naturally.
So that's a thing with OBS that you have integrated in there?
Well, I actually have it with Sammy. That's where Sammy comes in, because I have a button for all my sound effects, right? Or any of these, so you can just have a trigger. So whenever someone types in like exclamation mark whatever, or it doesn't have to be exclamation mark, it can just be any word. Like I could have like a lightning bolt if someone puts @Stormy in my chat or something. A lightning bolt could come in or something if I wanted. Like I could do that if I wanted to.
Right on.
So if anytime Stormy posts, like I actually also have a thing for like the people who have been on my chat the longest. They have an intro sound. So when they come into chat, and they type whatever, the first thing they type, their intro sound plays, like whatever it could be. And that's more I added that, for them, but it's actually more for me, because I always, like, I even have a read your chat channel point redemption, because if I'm not paying attention to chat, people can tell me. So that way, if someone shows up in chat and they type something, I hear their sound, like, oh, so-and-so's here. I just know, right? So it's like something for them, but it's actually for me.
Right.
To make so I can keep up with what's going on. Right? But
Yeah.
don't tell them that. Because they think it's for them. but it's actually for me.
Well, you
But
are
not
for
everybody
us.
has it, but people can
Don't
request
tell.
it. Right? That's right. Shh. Secret.
Don't tell.
All right, Loomis. Thank you for sharing that. And now it's time for us to wrap up. I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. You honored us.
Thank you so much for having me. This is very cool. I've this is my first podcast. So there you go.
So special.
We
It is.
You honor us, sir, and we appreciate you so much. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show. And
I think it's cool you guys are doing this. I think it's a cool thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone, please go check out the link here.
Yes.
Go drop Loomis a follow, and if you
check
haven't
out
already,
my daughters Halmal _productions. They do their own thing too. They like art. They do more art, and they're fun. They do the VTuber thing. Like
Right on.
Haley now, I have an intro that plays, when my stream starts, like a 1 minute intro video. And she's in it. I have a clip because I made it a long time ago. And she's, hey, Blaze. OG Blaze. Thank you so much for the follow. See that thing? Anybody can grab that online, and it's free. The Final Fantasy thing. If you guys want it, just go grab it. It's out there. What was I saying? Something
Your
about my
daughter
daughters.
is in the intro video.
Oh yeah, that's right.
VTuber,
So my oldest daughter is in the intro video, and she really, really wants me to change it because she doesn't want to be seen on camera anymore. Because they have the VTubers that they created, so they're not on camera anymore. So now whenever she sees herself, she's like, change it, please." I'm like, "That's a lot of work to change it. I'm not going to do it." So you're stuck with it.
Well, thanks again,
there's
Loomis.
Boomer again. Look at this Boomer.
Look at that.
Came back.
We got a
Back.
perfect end to our interview with Loomis. Boomer came in to say good night to us. Good afternoon.
Say bye, Boomer.
Bye, Boomer. Bye, Loomis. Stick around. Don't disconnect. We'll chat with you a little bit after the stream, but we're gonna switch off now. Thanks again for joining us.
Thanks,
Loomis.
guys. Bye. Thanks for watching. This was fun.
Wow, Loomis is amazing. I'm so happy we finally got to have him on the show.
Yeah, I was like, why would you want to talk to me? That's what I was thinking. It's like, I have nothing to say. I'm terrible at this. You don't want me on your show. I'm going to ruin everything.
Thanks, Loomis. We appreciate you, brother.
I'll try to jump on. Druid's thing tonight. We have some family in town this weekend, and it would make things a little bit harder.
We're still live, though, by the way.
They're very technology adverse, so they won't know. They won't understand any of this. But
we're still live and haven't quite wrapped up yet.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna do our outro real quick, and then we'll chat. Give us 1 second.
Do it.
All right.
Okay. I haven't. Okay, secret. I haven't watched Loomis yet, and now I'm scared to watch Loomis because I love to do a distract the streamer type of thing, and I'm also really scared because I'm gonna get ideas and stuff, and I'm never gonna play games anymore.
I play games. All I do is play. All this stuff happens while I'm playing games. Right? But I don't usually just chat because I can't. I don't have enough to say, really. Something else has to be happening for me to keep things going. I can't just sit here and talk forever. So, what's your shirt, by the way? What is that?
It's my Star Kitty. No, it's my Star Kitty shirt.
Oh, okay.
I guess we're doing things a little bit different this time, and that's okay. We'll go back and so.
No, it's perfect. We're happy.
Yes.
I'm so happy right now.
I love being able to
shirt
adapt
I want to find. I can't
chaos.
find it anymore online, but it says +5 to sexterity, and I'm trying to get that shirt. I can't find it.
That sounds hilarious. All right, guys. Thanks again for joining us for Bandwidth and Banter, and make sure you go check out Druid's stream tonight in about an hour, right? Maybe a little less, hopefully.
1 hour.
1 hour, and then after that,
Hopefully, see you there.
Yeah, we'll see you there, buddy. And then tonight, I'll be streaming Celasta with Banana Tom, It's Star Kitty, and Lucifer Lightbearer. So you all have a wonderful afternoon and a wonderful evening, and we'll see you just a little bit. Bye-bye, guys.
Hey. Bye.
Goodbye.